Hello everybody and welcome. Today I'm going to show you how to find quality keywords for your site that you can compete with. So the first thing you want to do is get started with just a baseline number of keywords. So to do that, what I normally do is just search in Google. So for today's example, we're going to use dorm supplies. So I'll just search Google for dorm supplies and I'll see what's up. Or what comes up, and then I'll add a list of all the keywords I get to just a Word doc like this, and I'll even start off with dorm supplies. And just what you can do is just go to the bottom here and it says searches related to dorm supplies. I'll just grab that list and I'll just copy it over here to my ongoing list. I can probably get rid of some of these college dorm supplies, cute dorm supplies. All these look relevant. I'll take off this for guys one because it doesn't need to be targeted to just guys. And then I'll keep the rest of those. So I'll click on the most relevant one. So let's go for checklist. That seems like something that people would be looking for and something that we could probably build a decent site around, especially an affiliate site for people just starting off in college. So here are some more. So I'll go ahead and take those and just add them to my list. I'll get rid of this 2012 one. And let's go back here and let's click on another one. I usually like to stay with my root. I don't want to go too far because then you can just end up going to anything. So I'll click on one of them and then I'll go back to the root. So let's go back to just dorm stuff. Let's see what pops up for dorm stuff. Furniture, bedding. So we'll take all of this stuff too, and we'll get rid of that guys one because that doesn't really matter. The next thing you want to do is search for the traffic for those keywords and maybe get some more ideas as well. The number one place that I think probably the only place people go to for that is just the Google AdWords Keyword Planner. I'll give the URL for that. You will need an AdWords account, but you can walk yourselves through that. The biggest one you want to worry about here is just the search for new keywords and ad groups ideas. That's the one that I use the most. You could also look for forecasts, and then you can look into these other options, but this is the one that I really like to use. And I'll just add my list here. Sorry about that. I'll just add my list here to this, and it would give me a list of related searches and as well as the search results for the ones that I give. So once this does its work here, you can see the highest rated one. Well, it doesn't sort it yet, but you can kind of get an idea of what the results are looking like. And dorm bedding gets 14,000, almost 15,000 impressions a month, I guess this would be, or how many people search for it. So 14,000 is pretty good. I usually like to stay around 1,000. That means that about 30 people a day. That's for a smaller site. For bigger sites, they might want to target 1,400, 14,000 and higher. But it just depends on the size of your company. So what you want to do once you have this is you want to download it and just download it as a CSV file. So I have 821 keywords here, and I'm going to show you how to filter that keyword list down to something that you can really target and something that you can compete with. Alright, so I have my CSV file open, and this is what it's going to look like as you download it. I like to make a couple changes to this to make it a little more easier to navigate and easier to narrow down what you want to focus on. So the first thing I do is I'll get rid of this. These all pretty much say the same thing. These are the ad groups. You can keep that if you are focused in a specific group, but for this, we're just going to get rid of it. We're also going to get rid of price or the currency because the currency is the same for every single product, at least in my list. So I'll get rid of those. I will keep the monthly searches. I'll keep the competition. Don't rely on this too heavily. This is the keyword competition for paid search, as well as this suggested bid price. but I'll keep this just so it's a little bit easier to see the competition, because it is relevant, but we're going to get rid of all of these. And you can do that just by highlighting the entire rows and then right clicking and delete. So the next thing you want to do once you get rid of all the clutter is, I like to freeze this top row here just so we can scroll and we can still have that there. You don't have to do this, but this is just something that I like to do. You can do this by going to layout and then freeze panes and just freeze top row. So now when I scroll, that's going to stay there. And then now this number is what is most important to us, is, at least at this moment, is how many people are searching for this every month. So we're gonna just highlight this entire first row here, and then we can click on this little filter icon and it will give each of these columns a filter. And let's filter this in descending order, so that'll put the highest amount of searches on top, and then we can kind of hit our floor. So let's make our floor 3,000 searches a month. So this is where 3,000 searches a month end. Dorm furniture looks like it has enough, so let's cut this down to 2,400. So now we're going to get rid of everything below that just by highlighting it all and then deleting. And if you don't know how to highlight those, you just click your upper limit, I guess in this case your lower limit, hold down shift and then click your higher limit, and it'll highlight everything in between. So now we have a list of 248 new keywords that we can focus on. So now I want to search by competition. This will give me a good just a good starting point. Like I said, this isn't directly translated into what you want to focus on. So just because this has almost 3,000 searches a month and only 0.02 competition doesn't mean you go after that. But let's pick a couple here that we like. You'll probably spend some time filtering this list down on your own, just on what's relevant to your site. But because you want to make sure the content is still relevant, obviously. You don't want to just go after something that has the most number of searches and the lowest number of competition. If it's not relevant, people aren't going to click on it. And I'm going to talk more about how to use these keywords to maximize people clicking on your site and to increase your search volume. And I'll do that in a future video. But for now, let's just choose a couple here. We'll just choose these top couple. So let's go college checklist. And now what we want to do is we want to search these in Google, and we want to see what our competition looks like. So this is what you get when you search for college checklist. And a good tool to use to see what your competition looks like is something called SEO Toolbar from Moz. And what it does is it gives you a page ranking, or the page authority of a site, and the domain authority of a site. What the page authority is basically the likelihood that that page is going to rank in search, and then the domain authority is the likelihood that the domain is going to rank in search. What I've found is that you usually want to find a couple on the first page that have a domain authority or page authority below 40, and that's something that you could likely compete with. So let's look for a good keyword that has a good number below 40. So college backpacking list, we can compete with that probably. The domain authority is pretty low. This one looks like the page that it goes to looks like it gets a lot of clicks, and then it also has 323 links to it. And this is all coming from the Moz toolbar up here, and it adds this under each search. So this, and then here's another one. We have the page authority and the domain authority are both below 40. So dormsmart.com, that's probably another good one to compete with. Then as we scroll here, it looks like those are the main two. So we would probably want to click on those and do some research into what they're doing and try and fill any gaps that both of those sites have and really compete with those sites. So those are just a couple ideas on what you can do to find good keywords to focus on for your site or blog to get good search traffic. So you want to just get a list of keywords using the recommended or the searches related to at the bottom of the Google search for a vague idea of what your article is about. And then once you gather that list, you want to put that into the Google Keyword Planner. You want to export that. You want to look at all the different keywords that they recommend, and then you want to search the most relevant ones once you've filtered it down and see what the competition is for those keywords. If you like the video, you can subscribe. You could also join me in my Road to 4K challenge, which is my challenge to make $4,000 in a single month by the end of 2015 using just online business. I have a Facebook group for anybody that wants to join, just for us to discuss what we're doing and help each other reach that goal. And the link to that Facebook group is in the description. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.